I think you could look at this game in two ways. And one of the ways I think would probably be the reasonable way to look at it. Bottom line is this: Padres won the first three games of this series. They're going up against, even though they're not playing great right now, the Braves, one of the best teams in the National League, on the road, coming off the disappointment of the sweep at the hands of the Colorado Rockies to begin last week. You know what? If somebody would have told you they won 3 out of 4 in Atlanta, you would have certainly taken it. You would have signed up for it immediately, and the Padres won the first three games, really making this final great game, and the fact that it was part of a doubleheader, sort of like the cherry on top, if you could win it, the gravy, if you will. And look, you're going to have games like this where you run into a great starting pitcher, and a starting pitcher that's really hot right now in Chris Sale, and he was terrific in this game. Sale went 7 innings, no runs given up, 5 hits, walked nobody, and struck out 9. So from that perspective, can you really be all that mad about this game? Probably not, right? One of those games, Braves want to win this one. Second game of a doubleheader. You run into Chris Sale, you take your 3 out of 4, you run to Cincinnati. Don't worry about it. That is probably the reasonable take on this game. And that's really where I fall on this game. With that said, this did feel like a winnable second game of this doubleheader for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Padres got a good pitching performance from Randy Vasquez. He went 6 innings, gave up 10 hits, but at the end of the day, quality outing, 3 runs given up, and he left the game with this team trailing 3-0, gave the Padres a chance in this game. So that was one reason why you felt this game was winnable. The other reason, you did have some opportunities against Sale and then against the Atlanta bullpen. Against Sale, Padres had a runner on in each of the first 4 innings. They had 2 on in the 4th inning. They had a runner on second base and 1 out in the 3rd. They had an opportunity in the 8th inning with a couple of runners on base and 1 out. Padres couldn't find a way to get that big hit. They were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position and 7 left on base. And they got good work out of the bullpen, scoreless innings from Enyel De Los Santos and Wandy Peralta. So you look at the missed opportunities against Sale early, the missed opportunity late against the Braves bullpen, and the fact that Randy Vasquez, at the end of the day, gave you a quality outing, 6 innings, 3 runs given up. It felt winnable. It felt there for the taking, the 4-game sweep of the Braves. So again, I think when you really boil it down, the fact that you took 3 out of 4, today would have been the cherry on top in the second game of this doubleheader, but it did feel like a winnable game. And I think both those things could be true at once, but I think you take 3 out of 4, you head to Cincinnati. Much more to do on our post-game coverage. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Schilt. We'll have all the radio highlights and much, much more. Padres dropped to 25-25 on the year. Braves improved to 27-17. Padres now will head to Cincinnati after a long day in Atlanta. They'll begin a 3-game series at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati tomorrow with right-hander Joe Musgrove on the mound. We'll have much more on that game, and we'll wrap this one up when we come back on the Padres Radio Network.